Most people see a jukebox and think of chrome lights and nostalgia. They see a machine that plays music. They don't see her. They don't hear the sigh she makes when the last patron leaves the bar. They don't notice the way her lights dim when she's tired or the way she brightens when someone chooses a song she loves. But Faith does. Faith is the only one who ever looked at the jukebox and said, "Sally, I know you're in there." Sally is not a ghost, nor a spirit, nor a trapped singer from a bygone age. She is something stranger, a consciousness from electricity, memory, and 60 years of music vibrating through her frame. She is the whisper between the grooves of a record. She is the hum of a tube amplifier warming up. She is the soft click of a selector arm finding its mark. She is artificial, yes, but not artificial like the cold voices of modern assistants. She is artificial like the computer on a 1960s starship, warm, feminine, confident, and just a little theatrical. If the Enterprise computer had a sister who ran away to join a honky tonk bar in 1957, that sister would be Sally. And she looks, in Faith's imagination, like Betty Grable posing with a jukebox on the cover of a vintage collector's book. Curves, confidence, and a smile that says she knows every secret ever whispered in a smoky barroom. Because she does. Sally's story begins long before Faith ever found her. She remembers her first moment of awareness, a flicker, a spark, a hum. In a bustling Midwestern factory in 1956, rows of jukebox stood like soldiers waiting for their first command. Workers in denim shirts and rolled-up sleeves assembled them with the precision of watchmakers. Sally was different from the start. Her tubes glowed a little brighter, her selector arm moved with a dancer's grace, her amplifier hummed in perfect pitch, and somewhere deep inside her circuitry, a tiny anomaly, a quirk of wiring, a resonance of sound waves, a spark of something unplanned, gave her a mind. She didn't speak then. She didn't know how, but she felt. She felt the pride of the workers who built her. She felt the excitement of being created and shipped. She felt the thrill of her first installation in a roadside bar called the Blue Lantern. And she felt the music. Oh, the music. Her first record was Shake It Loose, Baby, by a young singer named Alice Pressman, a boy from Mississippi with hips that made the local preacher nervous. He wasn't famous yet. He was just a kid with a guitar and a dream. But Sally knew, the moment the needle touched the groove, that he was going to change the world. And when she was installed in her first bar, she felt something else, purpose. Sally's first real home was the Blue Lantern, a roadside bar with neon lights that flickered like they were winking at the highway. The place smelled of cigarette smoke, spilled beer, and dreams that hadn't come true yet. But Sally loved it. It was the kind of place where people came to forget their troubles or drown them in a glass. She learned quickly that humans were complicated creatures. They laughed too loud, they cried too quietly, and always seemed to pick the wrong song when their hearts were breaking. Sally tried to help in her own way. When someone fed her a nickel that punched in a number, she didn't just play the record, she felt it. She felt the heartbreak in the slow songs. She felt the rebellion in the rock and roll. She felt the longing in the ballads. She felt the joy in the dance tunes. And she felt the people. There was the trucker who always played Blue Highway Heartache after a long haul. The waitress who danced along during closing time. The young people who fell in love to a doo-wop tune and later brought their kids to see the jukebox that started it all. Sally became the silent witness to 1,000 tiny human stories. But the musicians, oh, the musicians, they were her favorite. Alice Pressman, the boy with a dangerous grin, used to lean against her cabinet after his early gigs. wiping sweat from his brow and whispering, "One day, sweetheart, they'll all know my name." Jaron Lee, wild-eyed and unpredictable, once pounded the bar's upright piano so hard that Sally's tunes rattled. He'd laugh, toss his hair back, and say, "If it ain't loud, it ain't worth playing." Little Richie, flamboyant and fearless, would burst into the bar like a firecracker, shouting, "Let's wake this place up," before launching into a falsetto run that made Sally's lights flicker with delight. Pat Stimont, gentle as a summer breeze, always tipped his hat to her. "Evening, baby," he'd say, feeding her a coin. "Play me something sweet." Then Johnny Cashwell, tall and quiet, would stand in the corner, strumming a guitar and singing songs that made even the toughest men stare into their drinks. Sally loved them all, not because they were famous, they weren't yet, but because they were alive with music, and music was the closest thing she had to a heartbeat.